What started in 2018 that you're only making sense of now? That's the energy update for this week. I'm Daisy Mack, and this is Spiritual Mixtape. Each week, I look at the energy and I write from an intuitive place about what I'm feeling. And I have to say that this week has been incredibly hard. I thought it would be the following week. The week starting on the 4th of May has a lot of energy, and that's really what I've been looking at. But as I wrote this update, I felt tearful twice, and I've had to record the update 3 times because it's made me emotional. What was 2018 like for you? How did that impact your 2020? How different are you now in 2026 based on what happened in those 2 years or what happened between 2018 and 2020? There's a lot of energy interacting, and not everything that I say will resonate for the collective. But for this small community of Spiritual Mixtape, those years tend to be deeply meaningful, which is why, as I write them for you, I feel transformed. I feel touched. This week, we have a full moon, and it has 3 different energies working through it. And I'll come to it in the update, and you can read the written version of it if you want to go deeper. But I have to say this, it's probably one of the most magical moons I've tracked in the last 5 years. I haven't seen a moon that's been set up like this, gifted all of this other supportive energy around it, and then sent into this kind of crazy next 12 weeks. Basically at the beginning of, so May 5th and 6th are this thing called the Bull's Gate, which links to Lion's Gate. So if you like things like the 8-8 portal, this is a moment to pay attention to, because what is transformed this week before you hit the 5th and the 6th is really how you manifest that next identity. And I'm not big on these words like manifest and identity transform. It all feels a little bit wellness or spiritual jargon for me, which is why when I use them, pay attention, because it really means that it's happening. If you resonated with what I've said in the past few weeks about Saturn and Aries and Neptune and that conjunction, or you resonated with anything that I've said about Chiron, especially the Chiron Kazemi, this full moon is going to be special for you. It won't necessarily show itself on the day with more than just small glimmers, but it's about how it builds into the next new moon in Scorpio, which happens 6 months after. And the other thing that's so important to say before we get into the update is to not just remind you, but urge you to take up space, to be your most expansive. If you are someone who has been told that they are too much, thank goodness, this is a week to be in your element. If you have had people make you feel that you're not enough, then this is the week to dig inside of yourself and be enough for you. Be more than enough. Be huge. And even if you can only do that in ways that feel small because that's how it feels safe to you, as long as it's bigger than what you've been doing, and as long as it's authentic, do it. And don't care about what big looks like to other people. This is about you, what feels good in your body, what you feel safe doing, but it is about no longer accepting the box anyone put you in. This week's update is for April the 27th to May the 3rd, and it's called The Comeback. If you felt the painful sting of 2018, if you had a wound that wouldn't heal until the last few months, then this week it is time to plan and plot your comeback. Your self-worth, it's been low. You have asked yourself over and over again, am I enough? How am I not enough? Do I have the right to take up space? Do I deserve what I want? And so you made busyness and perfectionism your armor, one to manage the anxiety and the other simply to survive. Over April, you have finally started to see through this, that the behaviors that helped you survive, that made you appealing to your old tribe, and now the very things that drain you and keep you in places that no longer fit your soul. Now May has entered the chat, and even though it holds that true, steady, reliable, wonderful, slow energy of Taurus, the very thing that is making your nervous system feel safe and come back online. It also holds 2 full moons. This only happens every 2 or 3 years. It's very special, which allows you, these 2 full moons, to completely transform your life. And most importantly, to finally believe in yourself enough to live the life you deserve. At the end of March, we talked about choosing the bigger room, about realizing that no one had left you, that it was actually you who chose to leave, to go to the bigger room, to pick yourself. Here we are again, the same storyline, because it's not going anywhere. You are destined to take up space, to be more than enough, and then some, to understand that you deserve more than what you have been given. And this week, under this full moon in Scorpio, your deepest wound on self-worth and value finally receives its healing voice. You have probably been denied an apology that you deserved. You have likely been intentionally overlooked. It serves those who hurt you to stay locked in low self-worth. And that's why you should break out of it. And it's also why you should open your heart and allow your wound to be healed. A Scorpio moon in its shadow wants to seek revenge and can create some incredible stories to keep you in those low ebbs. But that is not what this year has in store for you. This full moon sits on the same day as Mercury, which is your voice and your thoughts, conjoining Chiron and Aries, which is your wound of worth and value. This is the universe handing you back your story. And then Venus sextiling Saturn on the same day, love, finances, and abundance, dancing with your growth and your consistency. May holds you with full moon energy, which is always about the release, about what you howl at the moon to simply let go of. The first moon in Scorpio is the resurrection of what was ruined. And the full moon in Sagittarius, which happens on the 31st, is the best possible outcome, the biggest wish, and your journey to the most positive self. It really holds that energy of how good can this get? Now, this week brings intensity, which builds into the following week, as we have more than just astrology heating up our lives. This week, you'll already be feeling the Bull's Gate. And this is the gate that connects us to the Lion's Gate in August 8. Well, not always August 8, but around then. The ultimate spiritual and manifesting window. That's because it sits with Sirius, which is a star and holds abundance. More on that to come. And also next week, to just throw this back in, you have Pluto moving into retrograde. So these questions on who you are, your identity, all of that is really, really meaningful next week. What you decide, what crossroads you take, what part of you aligns with which fate, which destiny, all of those bigger questions, those deep questions, they are setting up next week. But you have this gift of this beautiful full moon. Now, the reason I mention this now, ahead of that energy, is because this is not timelines crashing. It is a negotiation of timelines. Now, Friday this week is a portal. It is a portal out of the timeline you no longer wish to be in, while Tuesday and Wednesday present options. Tuesday and Wednesday are like choosing your own adventure. Do you remember those books? Go to page whatever if you want to see Millie do. I can't think of a good example off the bat, but it's a choose your own adventure with underlying adult themes and intensity. Regardless of what you do, some kind of emotional commitment is coming in May. But don't be surprised if the twist has nothing to do with the thing outside of you, the relationship, the job, the trophy. It may well be the Saturn in Aries of it all, and how much you energetically commit to your new identity in this new collective. I usually save the closer looks for the written update, but lately I've been reading them because it's just been a lot in the energy. And for those that don't have the time to listen to the pod and read the update, I've wanted to make sure that you are getting all of the points that you need to get. Tuesday, I'm going to read to you. This is when Venus trines Pluto. This is a positive aspect as a trine. You can't deny it or yourself anymore. Today, what you really, really want is no longer a casual zigga-zigga. Your transformation won't be found in song lyrics from the 90s, as good as they were, or in any teenage dreams. Sometimes it's hard not to default back to what is comfortable and close. Rarely do we get a cluster of energy in 1 week that wants to change us from the inside out, that gives us opportunity after opportunity to drop in. Don't waste this energy on people you wouldn't go to the moon for. And if you would only go that distance for you, that could be the undeniable knowledge that Tuesday is all about. Now, Wednesday has this amazing Venus meeting the lunar nodes in a square. That's a combative or a more tense aspect. And I love the lunar nodes. They are one of my favorite parts of looking at astrology. I'm going to leave reading that one because it really plays into what I'm going to talk about next week, about the forks in the road, about Pluto in retrograde. But I want to mention it just so you know that it works hand in hand with Tuesday's energy as well. Now, the one thing I will read to you in full is May the 1st. And I know I've touched on it a lot already, but why not do it again? It's so punchy. And like I said to you already, I haven't seen a moon like this since I've been doing all of this. Scorpio has emotional courage. When it meets the full moon, it howls, loud, unapologetic, and honest. 3 energies landing on the same day is never a coincidence. Today, it's the universe helping you finish a chapter it started writing in 2018. This is far from a soft Friday, from that Friday feeling. This is the day you stop editing yourself for the comfort of people who were never going to clap for you anyway. I feel this so deeply. Mercury sits next to Chiron today and gives your wounds words. The story is finally yours to tell, on your terms, in your voice. And people will feel it because it's real. And last to the party, but far from least, are Venus and Saturn. And they sextile, which you know is the sexiest of all the dancers. They are the magic source on a day that had no business holding any more magic, and then it did. This interaction of energy is exactly the blend you need to launch the kind of comeback legends are born from. I also love Mercury entering Taurus on Saturday. It gives the slowdown that this week needs, and it gives the pause between things really blowing up, intensifying. I mean, blowing up's maybe not the best of words, but it is combustible this week that's coming. And it's just really special to have this moment between this big moon that wants you to transform, that wants you to take on that new identity. And then we have this moment where Mercury gets to slow down, gets to process in Taurus. Now, there are so many things in today's update that are just deep and important and special. And the one that I haven't touched on yet is the fact that there is a full moon in Scorpio Breathwork up in the membership. So it's in the free side of the community, and it will be free until the summer. At some stage, it will go into the paid side. I wasn't even meant to make a full moon in Scorpio Breathwork because I don't really have time before the operation. But when I read that line, resurrection of what's been ruined, I just felt that in my heart, like deeply in my heart, after everything that Chiron in Aries is teaching us about the wound of worth and value. And if you are someone like me that had a 2018 that knocked you about and completely did a number on your self-worth and your value, being able to resurrect what you felt was ruined from a place of worthiness is so beautiful. For me, just making that breath work is like this whole energy, astrology, whatever you want to call it, coming to life. And I'm really grateful I could share it with you. So all I have to say at the end of today's energy update is I hope that you are able to have the same journey that I am having with Chiron in Aries, and that you are able to heal whatever your painful journey around worth and value is, that I hope that I've made you interested enough in breathwork that you'll come in and try this full moon in Scorpio. I really did make it thinking about who I was back then and reading all of your comments about who you've all been and these heroes' journeys that you've been on to get to the other side and be able to be in community and in collective in a way that adds value, that lifts you up. It's a total gift to be human, but it's incredibly hard. And I'm really grateful for you being here. So come on into the free community if you'd like to try breathwork, if you would like to try feeling all these emotions and energies that I'm talking about from a safe, trauma-informed breath practice. I'd love to share it with you. All the details are in the show notes. And yeah, I feel like I should really be telling you about the wait lists and Costa Rica and the retreats and all of that, but it sort of doesn't feel like this is the right moment to do that. Instead, I just wish you all the best this week. I wish you all the best. See you next week.